Hello, this is Monroy Benzer from Pro Hockey Europe, and I welcome you back for my first video after 3.5 years, where I did my last video about the situation in Italian hockey. So, from 3 years ago to now, we've gone a long way into the right direction. First of all, because we've gone from 1 to 3 teams in the Ice Hockey League, which gives 3 times as many Italian hockey players the chance to play in a pro league as pro hockey players. Unfortunately, there is still some other points we discussed last time that still need to be addressed, like an open Italian player market, a minimum and maximum salary, especially for the Italian leagues, and a better transfer card rule. But to explore more about these points, I invite you to watch my last video, because today's video will all be about the youth hockey development in Italy. So my primary goal would be to streamline and centralize a lot of the coaching materials in the youth hockey department. Especially from the U8 at the U14 level, I would like to see more guidance as to what to teach in each age group. Because this is what we see in the last hockey movement across the various countries like Sweden, Canada, USA, and so on. That means that you create a kind of playbook for coaches at every age group, which includes training programs on ice, off ice, season planning, and everything a coach would need to coach that specific age group. But not just coaching, I would also get more guidance to hockey managers, because we need to reduce the hurdles to enter hockey management and hockey coaching, because that's the only way to get new people in, more people involved in coaching and also in hockey management. Because as of now and as of the last generations, we've had so many hockey management people staying in the same position for many years or decades even, which is good for some aspects, but also bad for some others, especially the ones of creating new ideas and competition in the market. And the same goes for coaches, because we really need to push to get new and young minds into this hockey world that will contribute to hockey in Italy for many years to come. And not just rely to the ones that have been there for many years, which are good for the moment, but maybe not the right ones to move forward. And that's why we need also a playbook for management that includes instructions as to what you need to schedule a game, what you need to schedule a tournament, or even a whole season, and even the off season. Maybe also some budget templates, ideas how to get sponsorships, and so on, so that a person with no experience could enter any hockey team in the youth department and read this playbook and have a very good idea of recommendations of how to successfully run a youth hockey team in Italy. And this goes the same for coaching, because only this way we can motivate a lot of young people and parents to enter this market and have a good understanding of what is needed to teach our kids the right way to play hockey. Of course, I understand that not all the teams are the same and don't have the same quantity of kids, financial possibilities, and so on. And that's why I would recommend to place all the teams in 3 different categories according to financial capabilities, amount of kids, rink availability, and so on. Because that's how we can create a playbook for each category and address their questions more specifically. Because a small team with only 10 kids per age group and a volunteer coach might have a different kind of practice than a very large team with maybe 20 to 25 kids per age group with 1 professional coach plus assistant and 3 helpers. So there would be a different playbook for this kind of team. So therefore, I would like to see also financial funds, maybe from the federation, placed more specifically into various categories of these teams to address those questions more specifically. Because, for example, for the lower categories, especially one tournament style games would be more beneficial, where teams would meet at a central rink and play many games in the same day to maximize the time on ice and minimize the costs for the team. The most important part of this whole project is to install regional coaches, because these coaches would be responsible for many teams in their area and follow up on the coaching and the playbooks of the various teams around them. Also, they will be visiting those coaches and educate them, monitor the level of the players, and make sure that they really track the development of each team across the various seasons. On top, I would really encourage centralizing goalie coaching, just like it's done in other countries like Sweden, Finland, and so on. And it's proven to be very successful because you can minimize costs and have one coach in a central location that visits many teams around him on any other day and can so split the cost among them so that they can still guarantee a professional goalie coaching without having to bear the cost of one full-time coach for maybe just a small amount of goalies. Especially for the teams in the lower-end categories, this could be something that could really improve the professional level of their coaches, because they would also be educating local coaches and goalie coaches. On top, I would really like to see more Italian coaches taking more responsibility, not only in the pros, but also in the youth departments. Because we see many import coaches also doing a very good job, but maybe not being there for so long, which I think could really be beneficial to have more Italian coaches that put on a legs. Another fundamental point would be to really invest into Italian hockey coaches. And this could be done by incentivizing teams to have Italian coaches and giving a bonus for that, or also having a kind of scholarship for teams to hire young college students in the area and have them educate them across the years by the regional coach, so that they, by the end of the studies, they've not only coached and made money throughout the years, but also been educated to become a professional coach at the end of their studies, so that they could also decide to enter the hockey workforce and contribute to hockey in Italy for many years to come. So finally, we go on to junior hockey development. And also here, we've seen a very positive development in the last few years, because now we have two hockey academies. First, with the Alps Hockey Academy in Brunico, which will open this upcoming next season, and the Gladiators in Aosta, which have been doing academy hockey development for the last years. And this was one of my biggest wishes in my last video, where I mentioned that we really need to separate just regular youth hockey and junior hockey development and aspiring professionals. They need to train maybe even twice a day and have hard competition in order to reach those higher levels of hockey. And at least for now, we have two academies in Italy that guarantee those standards. Ideally, like I mentioned in that old video, I would like to see 3 or even 4 academies across Italy. Maybe one in Bolzano, in Enya, or also Asiago, because those places have proven to have enough kids and the financial resources to sustain such an academy. Not only do we need academies with good possibilities and training facilities, but we also need that competition. And that's why I would really push for them to play in the Austrian U20 League and U18 and so on, because then you can create sustainable and hard competition. Just like in the Pro, we have the Ice Hockey League with Austrian and Hungarian and Slovenian teams, as long as with the Italian teams, that create this one good competitive league that has many teams of the same or similar level. And that's what we also need for our U20, U18 and U16 teams. Because otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to gather all the best players in Italy and then win all the games 7 or 8-0. And it's also not a solution to have them play against much older kids that are maybe not as talented, just older, which is also dangerous in some situations. And that's why I would really like to see them in international competitions that go through the whole season, because that's what is going to make them better in the long run. At the same time, I would still keep running with the national competitions, but then we'd have the professional hockey development at the junior levels, which is then separated in players in the academy or players in the local teams that play in the national championships.